Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ayan. So, firstly, I would like to say good evening to everyone, and I would like to say thank you to Team Nursing Notes Simplified, especially to Coach Yasin, who has been talking with me all along as I propose this collaboration that we will be having this evening. So, good evening po sa lahat ng mga students. Also, those who are following me, has been following me on the YouTube channel. Of course, sa ating din pong page, to my students as well, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Lahat po ng nasa bahay, nasa eskwelahan, even for those who are preparing for the PNLE, sa NCLEX, sa mga students po, this is all for you guys. I hope everyone is doing well right now. Para po sa gabing ito, we will be talking about the concept of your cardiovascular nursing. Ayan. So, don't you know that most of your NPs in your Philippine Nurse Licensure Examination or even in the nursing school, lahat po mga kapatid ay nagka-cover po no ng ating medical surgical nursing. And for your cardiovascular nursing, mostly of these questions belongs to your NP3 and then your NP4 subjects. So again, I would like to say thank you to NNS, to Epicos, tutorials. Maraming salamat po for having me tonight dito po sa inyong channel. And I admire really the team. It's because of the dedication that they're giving. They're giving everything for free. Wala pong bayad. Nakaka-inspire po ang ganito mga platforms, no? So, we will also be doing the same. We'll also give back to our students, no, or to our followers, and even for those who are subscribing to our YouTube channel. So patuloy po nating i-follow ang page na ito at their good causes. Also, I would like to invite everyone to please follow me and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's start doing this right here, right now. Okay, so this is your cardiovascular nursing, mga kapatid. Okay, so alam nyo po, ang cardiovascular nursing ay dalawang magkahiwalay po na konsepto. Okay? So this is cardiovascular nursing. So when we say cardiovascular, kapatid, it is composed of your heart and also your blood vessels. Okay? So dalawang magkaibang konsepto pero pinagsama sa iisang major subject sa ating nursing school. Okay? So cardio means heart and then vascular means blood vessels. Okay? Simple lang kapatid because when we proceed to other concepts, doon tayo mahihirapan. It's because those are complex na mga concepts no sa nursing. But here kapatid, ang pag-uusapan natin ay about lang sa inyong puso at sa inyong mga ugat. That's it. Heart and the blood vessels. Now, ang heart po natin, isa lang ang mahalagang function niya. Okay? That is to pump the blood all throughout our body. Wala na kayong dapat isipin pa. Okay? That is to pump our blood all throughout the body. However, when it comes to blood vessels naman, that is just to serve as the circulating platform or the way for our blood to circulate. That's the function of our blood vessels. No? Kapatid, isulat niyo kapag sinabi nating blood vessels. Alam ko, alam na ninyo to, no? May mga parts ito. What are those? Una, let's put into our minds, arteries. Kapatid, kapag sinabi nating arteries, these are your blood vessels that carry your oxygenated blood away from the heart. Ayan. So dalawang bagay ang dapat natin dito malaman. Una, we should know that your arteries carries your oxygenated blood. Ibig sabihin kapatid, ito kapatid yung ating blood vessel na nagkikerry ng dugo na may oxygen. Okay, that's why A is for O. Tandaan po natin yan. A is for O, A means artery, O oxygenated blood. Okay? At para din mas madali nating tandaan, A is for A. Arteries, okay? Away from the heart. Okay? Tandaan natin yan. Pangalawa kapatid is yung atin naman pong veins. When we say veins naman, alam natin to. These carry the deoxygenated blood towards the heart. Okay? Now, kung kanina kapatid, kung kanina oxygenated away from the heart, dito naman kapatid, your veins carry the deoxygenated blood okay towards the heart. And as we go along, malalaman pa po natin what are your types of circulation because we will be discussing that for further and more and more. Okay? So again, pag-usapan po natin arteries and then your veins. And also, of course, your arteries and your veins, no, they can perform, okay, to the most specific parts of our bodies. Kasi malalaki sila in nature. Okay? So what our body needs, kapatid, are those smaller or those microscopic in nature ng mga blood vessels. Okay, and what are those things? Those are your capillaries. Okay, ang tawag natin sa kanila kapatid is capillaries, and they exchange fluids between the blood and the interstitial space natin. Again kapatid, your cardiovascular nursing is a two-concept nursing, and it composes your heart and then your blood vessels. And in your blood vessels, meron tayong iba't ibang parts, which are your arteries, your veins, which carries your deoxygenated blood, and then ano pa yung mas maliliit sa kanila, we call those capillaries. Okay, you write that down. Now, let's continue discussing and knowing further about the heart. Yan. So kapag sinabi nating puso, okay, it is a muscle. That's why we call it myocardium. Myo means muscle, okay? That's why meron tayong tinatawag dyan mamaya myocardium, dahil mayroon siyang part, mga kapatid, na purely muscle. Okay? Heart is a muscle. It has a mass, and it consists 3 layers. 3 main layers. What are those? Okay. So, when we say heart, kapatid, it is composed of your 3 major layers. And what are those? Una, let's talk about your epicardium. Kapatid, kapag sinabi nating epicardium, it is the outermost layer of the heart. Okay? It is the outermost layer, and it is the one that's closer, okay, to the outer part of your thoracic cavity. Okay? That's what we call as your epicardium. Now, kapatid, another thing is we also have your myocardium. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina sa inyo. When you say myocardium, ibig sabihin kapatid, it is the layer of the heart that is in the middle part. That's why M is for M. Myocardium is in the middle part, kapatid, of your layers of the heart. Okay? Tandaan natin again, myocardium is in the middle. And also, when you say endocardium, tandaan natin, you write that down. Endocardium, bakit siya tinawag na endocardium? Is because in the innermost part of the heart. Okay? Again, it's endocardium because it's in the innermost part of the heart. So we see here, meron tayo dito illustration, kapatid, about the layer of the heart. So again, the innermost part, that's what we call as your endocardium. Okay, so now kapatid, may isa pang mahalagang part ng ating puso, ayan, which we call as your pericardium. So when we say pericardium, kapatid, it's a double-walled membranous sac, okay, na nasa labas siya, kapatid, ng ating 3 primary layers, because in between the layers of the heart and then the pericardium, meron tayong tinatawag na pericardial space. Okay? So, ang pericardium po natin, may tinatawag tayong parietal and visceral layers. Okay? Huwag tayong matatoxic dito, kapatid. Huwag muna tayong magsisisure. Bakit? Okay, kapag sinabi nating pericardium, ito yung outermost part, nasa labas na siya ng 3 layers po natin, and then it contains your pericardial fluid. Now, kapatid, ano nga bang trabaho ng ating pericardium? When we say pericardium, kapatid, ang kanyang pinakamahalagang trabaho is to protect and lubricate the heart. Bakit? Meron siyang fluid. That's why we need to remember, kapatid, na kapag meron pala tayong inflammation of the pericardium, which we call as your pericarditis, ibig sabihin, our now pericardium will fail to protect and lubricate the heart. That's why when you have your pericarditis, the sensation or one of the symptoms is yung napakasakit talaga. Okay? There's really this sensation of chest pain. Okay, na masakit talaga because siya nga class ang nagpo-protect at naglo-lubricate sa heart. Now, because wala na yung function na yon, it's very painful. Okay? That's why our patient class experiences this chest pain. Okay, another thing that you should be remembering, bumalik tayo class kanina sa what we have discussed, epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. Now that you know the layers of the heart, when there is an inflammation of any of these parts, kapatid, you now know, ganun pala talaga kasakit. Magkaroon ng endocarditis, myocarditis, magkaroon din tayo ng epicarditis or pericarditis. Okay? So that's now our review of the anatomy of your heart. And as we go along, we will be knowing and learning about the physiology. Okay? Paano nga ba pinoproseso ng ating puso ang mga bagay-bagay? Okay. So, now, let's go back to our anatomy and physiology by Elaine Marieb. You know, siya sa mga paboritong subject natin, no, nung nasa nursing school pa tayo, or even now sa mga nasa nursing school. Okay, sa kakapasok lang, we're having the discussion ko, kapatid, on your cardiovascular nursing. So for this session, guys, I will be having the in-toto discussion on this. Okay, nasa presentation tab. But later on, kapag tumawid na po tayo sa ating mga cardiovascular diseases, iisa-isahin ko po, I will be having the organic discussion on each diseases. Pero gagawin natin siya sa loob lamang ng isa or maybe 1 to 1.5 hour. Okay, so please be with me. Now, pag-usapan naman natin, kapatid, I know that you know already these 4 chambers of the heart. Kaya ano ba yung 4 chambers of the heart natin? Okay, you now know that we have, ang puso po natin ay nakahati siya sa 4. Okay, what are those? The right atrium, the left atrium, the left ventricle, and then the right ventricle. So, yon. These are the 4 chambers of the heart. Tandaan po natin yan. And it is where all of those blood, okay, fills the heart. Doon po sila nagpupunta whenever our blood enters our heart. So it goes into those 4 chambers. Okay, those are what we call as your chambers of the heart. The right atrium, the left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. So now, your atria, okay, your right atrium and then your left atrium, ang trabaho po nila, they receive blood, okay, they receive blood from the veins, okay, which are from your inferior and then your superior vena cava. And they also send blood, kapatid, to the ventricles, and they are separated by what we call as your interatrial septum. Mamaya, as we go along, I will be discussing you back, and let's get reminded about the concept of your circulation inside the heart. So mamaya, babalikan po natin yon. Another concept, kapatid, is the ventricle. So ang ventricle naman, kapatid, ang trabaho niya is that it accepts or receives blood from the atria. And it sends blood to the arteries and all throughout of the body. So now, it is separated by what we call as our interventricular septum. Okay? So now, halimbawa dito in this case of the presentation that we're having now, okay, these are your right atrium. This is your left atrium, kapatid. And in here naman, okay, we have here the right, okay, we have here the, okay, this is your left atrium, right atrium, and this is your left atrium, and we have here, kapatid, your right ventricle, and then your left ventricle. So what divides them for your atria? They are divided by your, what we call as your interatrial septum. So lahat po ng nagdi-divide sa katawan natin, we call them as your septum. Okay? Upon the other hand naman, kapatid, for your ventricle, we have your interventricular septum. That's why, class, they are being divided by this septum. Ito pong septum na to ang nagdi-divide sa kanilang dalawa. Okay? So those are the chambers of the heart. Another thing that we should be reminded about is the valves of the heart. Alam niyo po ba, sa buong katawan natin, ang ating pong mga different parts of the body, these are divided by either your valves or your sphincter. Pwede pong sphincter po ang mag-divide sa parts po ng katawan natin, just like in your GI. We have your pyloric sphincter, we have your esophageal sphincter, or your esophageogastric, okay, sphincter. They are those locks all throughout the body na nagpipigil na magkaroon ng backflow, okay, on fluids or on contents of anywhere, okay, lahat po ng ating mga parts of the body. Now, isa sa mga bagay na dapat natin malaman at get reminded about is the valves of the heart. So we have these valves. What are these valves? Okay, the valves of the heart, kapatid, we have your 2 types of your valves. First is yung tinatawag nating atrioventricular valves. Okay? So when we say atrioventricular valves, kapatid, it's a one-way, okay? One-way flow of blood from atria, kapatid, to ventricles. Siya po ang manage ng traffic dyan. So we call that atrioventricular valves. So para mas madali nating tandaan, kapatid, okay, when we say right, okay, sa right po ng puso, tricuspid valve. On your right, there is the tricuspid valve, which is an example of atrioventricular valves. And then, on the left side naman, kapatid, we have your bicuspid valve, otherwise known as your mitral valve. Mamaya, as we discuss your circulation inside the heart, we will get reminded about this thing. Okay? Another thing kapatid is nandyan din ang ating semilunar valve. Yan, yung mga semilunar valves. So kapag sinabi naman natin semilunar valves kapatid, they are one-way flow from ventricles to either the pulmonary artery or the aorta. Okay? So there are two types of your semilunar valve. What are those? Una, we have your pulmonic valve or pulmonic semilunar valve or simply as your pulmonic valve. And we also have your aortic semilunar valve. Okay? Your aortic semilunar valve. Okay, now, so let's have this one here discussed one by one as we go along with your concept discussion. Another kapatid, kailangan din nating malaman if what are the two types of circulation. Well, we all know this thing, alam natin to, and let's get reminded about this one. First, we have yung tinatawag po nating pulmonary circulation. Okay, ano nga bang pulmonary circulation? Paano siya nangyayari? When we say pulmonary from the word itself, kapatid, it's referring to your respiratory system. It's referring to your lungs. It's referring to the process of respiration. And that's correct. Okay? Why? Because in circulation or in cardiovascular nursing, your lungs actually performs a very important role. Okay? So let's now get to know about your pulmonary circulation. So your pulmonary circulation, another thing is your systemic circulation. So systemic circulation, unang pagkakabasa at pagkakakita pa lang natin, it talks about everything about the body, everything, okay? Lahat ng or buong katawan natin, and that's correct also. Okay? So now, let's try to express and discuss further about the two types of circulation. Number one is yung tinatawag nating pulmonary circulation or pulmonic circulation. So, from the body, limbawa, lahat po ng mga dugo no, na nagmula sa ating katawan, kailangan po ng ating katawan na gamitin yung ating blood for the normal processes na meron tayo sa ating body. Okay? So, when we say all of those blood that are utilized by the cells sa ating katawan, ginagamit po doon yung ating oxygen. And oxygen is a very important element in metabolism, okay, ng ating katawan. Lahat po ng functions in our body, we need oxygen. When we run, we need oxygen, kapatid. When we walk, we need oxygen. When we sleep, we need oxygen. So, in our blood, because it is where our oxygen is attached, lahat po ng iyon, lahat po ng oxygen na nasa ating blood, ginagamit ng ating katawan. So now, it will be utilized by our body. So the blood that we have from our body, which oxygen has already been used and utilized by our body, lahat po yan kailangang bumalik sa ating heart. Bakit? Sa iisang rason. It needs to be oxygenated once again. Okay, so sa ating body, deoxygenated pa ang dugo na naandyan. Okay, kapatid, kapag nakikita nyo po ang blue na color, ibig sabihin wala pang oxygen yan. So from our body, okay, papasok yan sa ating heart, still deoxygenated, still wala pong oxygen. And then, papasok po siya sa ating lungs, still deoxygenated. Hindi pa nangyayari yung oxygenation, okay, ng ating dugo. This is what we call now as your pulmonary, okay? Pulmonary po yan. This is your pulmonary circulation. Okay? So now, baliktarin po natin, from your lungs, kapatid, it's because it is where your blood will be oxygenated. Okay, dyan po na-oxygenate ang ating blood. So, dyan po ikakarga, okay, ng ating respiratory process ang oxygen sa ating dugo. So, ma-oxygenate po ang ating blood dyan and then babalik po sa heart because ang heart lang po ang may karapatan at may trabahong ipump po yung ating blood all throughout our body. Okay? So, from your lungs, babalik po sa heart and then papunta na po sa ating buong katawan. And this is now what we call as your systemic circulation. Okay? So this is now what we call as your systemic circulation. So now, let's discuss further and let's go back to the discussion on anatomy or in yung physiology of your blood circulation inside the heart. Okay, so paano nga ba nangyayari? Okay, from all throughout the body, kapatid, halimbawa, no, we've been doing a lot of things sa isang araw. So nagamit na po ng ating katawan ng ating oxygen. So what we have in our body is the deoxygenated blood. Ang dugo po, na deoxygenated, okay, babalik po yan sa heart. Okay? So, kailangan niyang bumalik sa heart. Okay? So, halimbawa, through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, okay, ang dugo po natin na mula sa superior and inferior vena cava, kailangan niya pong bumalik sa heart. Bakit? Kailangan niya ulit ma-oxygenate. Okay, so dadaan siya sa superior and inferior vena cava, papasok siya sa heart. Saan siya papasok? Okay, ito po yung again, ang ating 4 chambers. Okay, 4 major chambers of the heart. And in here guys, I will be discussing it na ang puso po natin ay parang square po siya. It's not a heart in shape right now, but square po ang ating heart para sa gabing ito. Kapatid, babalikan po natin ang ating pong 4 na major chambers of the heart, which are your right atrium, your left atrium, your right ventricle, and also caps your left ventricle. So, now, yung ating pong dugo, no, na mula po dito sa buong katawan natin, kailangan po niyang pumasok sa ating puso. Okay? It needs to go back into our heart para po bumalik yung kanyang oxygen. So now, saan po siya dadaan? Dadaan po siya sa ating right atrium. Yan, papasok po sa ating right atrium. Pagpasok niya sa right atrium, kapatid, still wala pong oxygen yan. Okay, again, kapag nasa blue pa po, wala pa pong oxygen yan. So wala pang oxygen dito pagpasok sa heart. So mula sa right atrium, okay, it will go down to the right ventricle, pero may dadaanan siya diyang, okay, may dadaanan po siyang valve. And this is what we call as your right atrium, right ventricle, right cuspid valve. Tandaan po natin, dadaan po siya sa tricuspid valve. Okay? So, now, tricuspid po, that's why tatlo po yung cusps natin dyan. Uulitin ko po, dadaan po yung ating pong deoxygenated blood from our right atrium bababa sa right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. So now, kapatid, wala pang oxygen dyan. Okay? So anong gagawin niya o saan siya pupunta para siya magkaroon ng oxygen? Di ba kasasabi ko sa inyo kanina that there are 2 types of your circulation in the body, the pulmonary or the pulmonic circulation and then the systemic circulation. So now dito kapatid, dahil nandun na yung ating blood po, nandun na po yung ating blood sa ating right ventricle, pero wala pa siyang oxygen, it needs to be oxygenated. So saan siya pupunta? It will proceed to your, saan siya pupunta kapatid? Okay? Of course, pupunta siya sa ating pong lungs. Okay? So pupunta siya sa ating lungs pero may dadaanan siyang valve and we call that pulmonic valve. Again, it's a semilunar valve and it's what we call as your pulmonic valve. Ayan. Yan. So, now wala pa ring oxygen yan, pupunta yan sa ating lungs. Yan. Sa ating pong lungs, mangyayari ang tinatawag nating proseso ng osmosis, diffusion and osmosis. So, sa diffusion and osmosis po kapatid, by this process po inside our lungs, dyan po nangyayari ang process of oxygenating the blood no, na mula po sa ating katawan. So after it has reached kapatid, your lungs, doon po ma-oxygenate ang ating blood and then dyan po ang magiging dahilan no, kung saan masasabi na natin, the blood has been oxygenated and then kailangan niya nang bumalik sa ating puso. So paano siya makakabalik sa ating puso? Saan siya pupunta? Okay? Saan siya pupunta? It will proceed to our heart, okay? Through the left atrium. Yan, babalik siya through the left atrium. And then after it reach your left atrium, bababa siya papunta sa ating left ventricle. Yan. Dadaan po ang ating blood sa apat na major chambers of our heart. So bababa siya sa ating left ventricle through another valve, kapatid. And what's that? That's what we call as your bicuspid valve. Yan. So ngayon, alam na natin, hala, dyan pala talaga yan. So that's it. Class, it's where your blood is actually located. Okay? At dyan siya dapat dadaan. Okay? So now, another thing is, yun na, may oxygen na ang ating dugo. What will happen now? What's next? So kapatid, kailangan niyang circulate all throughout our body. So, in your left ventricle, may mahalagang nangyayari dyan, kapatid. In your left ventricle, dyan po nangyayari ang pinakamalakas, kapatid, na pagpintig po ng ating puso. And it's what we call as your PMI or the point of maximal impulse. Okay, dyan po through the electrical activity of the heart. Diyan po nangyayari, class, ang ating pumping of the heart na pinakamalakas. That's why the left ventricle is the powerhouse of the heart. It's where the point of maximal impulse is located. So diyan po kapatid, okay, nagkakaroon ng pinakamalakas na pumping or electrical activity of the heart. And it's where your blood will be pumped all throughout your body. So it will be pumped throughout the body kapatid. So pagkatapos niyang i-pump kapatid, it will proceed to our aorta, lalabas through the aorta, and it's the biggest artery of the body, down to the abdominal artery po natin through the what we call as your aortic valve. Okay? So now, dahil red na po ang color po ng ating pong dugo, ready na siya kapatid to be circulated all throughout our body. So that's how our blood circulation inside the heart works. Okay? So that's it. Okay. So now, another concept na kailangan din nating malaman is what we call as your cardiac cycle. Okay? So kapag sinabi nating cardiac cycle, kapatid, dalawa yan. Okay, dalawa yan. We have your systole or systole na tinatawag po natin, and your diastole. Okay, sometimes they call them diastole. Okay, so when you say systole, kapatid, halimbawa sa ating pong normal blood pressure. What's the normal blood pressure? Okay, the normal blood pressure accepted by the American Heart Association and the World Health Organization, that's 120/80. Okay? So, now we need to remember, kapatid, these two phases of your cardiac cycle. So, ang kabuuan po nito, kapatid, this is what we call as your cardiac cycle. So, first we have your systole and then your diastole. Okay. Now, in your systole, kapatid, it is where your heart is contracted. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, dito mas malakas ang ating pong puso. Upon the other hand, in your diastole, it is where your heart is relaxed. Kaya huwag kayong magtataka why your normal BP is 120/80. It's because, tandaan po natin that this 120, this is your systole, and this 80 is your diastole. So huwag kayong magtataka, kapatid, kung bakit ganyan po, okay, ang pressure. Because when we say 120/80 millimeters mercury, we are talking about your pressure. So of course, mas malakas ang pressure kapag may contraction, and then mas mahina naman ang pressure kapag may relaxation. So that's what we call as your one cardiac cycle. Halimbawa, no, in your lub-dub, okay, in your lub-dub, your lub actually is your systole and your dub is your diastole. Okay, so that's one cardiac cycle, and it's composed of two phases. That's your systole and your diastole. And we need to remember about that thing. Okay, so now let's discuss about the control of the heart. Okay, now when we say about the control of the heart, it is controlled by your autonomic nervous system, which is then divided into two. Okay, ano ba yung mga nagko-control po sa puso natin? First, we have your sympathetic nerves. Okay, so sympathetic nerves po natin, it is where there is an increased electrical conductivity and strength of your myocardial contraction. So, ibig sabihin lang, kapatid, sa simpa, dito malakas. Okay? Dito malakas, and then it is where your norepi and epi reflex class is being utilized. So tandaan po natin yan. Another thing, okay, it is also controlled by your parasympathetic nerves. Bakit? Sa pagkakataon naman, kapatid, na kung saan kailangan mag-relax din ang ating puso, okay, it is where your parasympathetic nerves works. Okay? The slowing down of action potentials through the heart reduce the strength of your contraction. Okay? So, again, the slowdown or the slowing down of your action potential, dito po yan nangyayari. Okay? Yan, your action potential is slowing down, okay, through the parasympathetic nervous system. So again, it is where your acetylcholine actually works. So now, kapatid, here we just need to remember of two things. Dalawang bagay po ang nagko-control ng heart. Under your autonomic nervous system, we all know this one, the simpa, ito yung nagpapabilis. That's why whenever I teach my students, sabi ko sa kanila, simpa, para simpa, simpa, para simpa. Okay, you're right. Okay, mas mabilis dapat, and that's your simpa. And then your parasimpa naman, class, mabagal, because it is where your heart is slowing down. Okay, the slowdown of action potential, okay, is happening here. Okay, we need to remember that thing. Okay, so now let's discuss about your hemodynamics because dito po nangyayari no yung mga tinatawag nating mga processes sa ating heart, and this is the concept na minsan lang pong dinidiscuss. Okay? So, when we say hemodynamics, kapatid, unang dapat nating malaman is yung tinatawag po nating preload. Sa preload po, kapatid, it is where the amount of blood, okay, returning to the right side of the heart, kapatid, is being received by the heart itself. So, pagpasok po ng dugo po natin sa ating right atrium, okay, yun po ang tinatawag nating preload. The amount of blood returning to the right side of the heart from the systemic circulation. So again, we call that preload. Okay? Yan, preload. Now, afterload, kapatid, ano naman ang afterload na sinasabi? When we say afterload, kapatid, it is where the pressure against the left ventricle must pump to eject our blood. Ayan. So, we need to remember that one. Okay? This is the pressure which the left ventricle must pump to eject our blood. And also, class, your compliance naman, kapatid, it is how easily the heart muscle expands when filled with blood. From the word itself, comply, di ba? Halimbawa, ang mga Pilipino mahilig dito sa compliance culture. Okay, when we say compliance, kapatid, it is how easily the heart muscle expands when filled by the blood. Sa pagpasok, kapatid, ng blood natin, okay, the ability of the heart to expand, okay, or the ability of the heart muscle to expand when being filled with blood, that's what we call as your compliance. Okay, so we need to remember that thing there. Okay, so another thing is your contractility. When we say contractility naman, this is the strength or kung gaano kalakas ang heart muscle. Okay? Of course, magdidepende po ang contractility ng muscle po natin. Depende yan sa age. Yan. Because when we get old, bumabagal po no, ang contractility or bumababa po ang contractility ng ating heart, and that's true. Okay? Dahil kapag mas bata po tayo, of course, no, mas malakas po ang pagpintig po ng ating puso. Another thing is will also affect the contractility of the heart. It's also the resistance na meron po tayo no, all throughout our blood vessels. Yun po yung tinatawag nating hypertension. Kaya po nagkakaroon ng hypertension, it's because yung contractility po ng ating heart pwedeng mas malakas, and then yung atin naman pong pag-receive ng blood sa ating pong blood vessels all throughout the body is masyado naman siyang mahina. Okay? So, that's it. That's what we call as your contractility. Again, you need to remember about the preload, which means the amount of blood returning to the right side of the heart. And afterload naman, kapatid, it is the pressure against which the left ventricle must pump to eject blood. Okay? So next, compliance naman, kapatid, is how easily the heart muscle expands when filled with the blood. And when we say strength naman or lakas naman, class, okay, this is what we call as your contractility. Okay, so we need to remember that one. Okay, so now, class, now let's discuss the next one. Okay, under pa rin your cardiovascular nursing. So we have this what we call as your ejection fraction. So ejection fraction, kapatid, is the amount of blood ejected per heartbeat. Okay, hala sir, depende, no? Depende sa ating amount of blood that's ejected by our heart itself per heartbeat. Bakit? Posible because of some problems of the heart. Depende. Hindi po ibig sabihin na mabilis ang pagpintig ng ating puso ay marami din po ang na-eject nating blood. No. Okay? Because we have this what we call as your ejection fraction. Okay? Tandaan po natin, kapatid, that in your ejection fraction, it is defined as the amount of blood ejected per heartbeat. It doesn't necessarily mean na mabilis po ang ating heart ay madami pong na-eject na blood. Hindi po ganun. Depende yan sa lakas. Okay? Depende yan also sa resistance po na nangyayari po sa ating blood vessels all throughout our body. Okay? So normally, just like us, no, we're normal now. Okay, nakikinig kayo sa akin. I can also teach you the same way. I teach you these concepts because we're all in normal state. So ibig sabihin, normal po ang ating ejection fraction. Okay? So normally, ang ejection fraction po should be 55% or higher. Yun po ang normal ejection fraction. So ibig sabihin, yung napupunta po sa heart, 45% of that, okay, upon heartbeat po natin, pwede po siyang hindi mailabas po ng ating pong heart. So 55% or higher, okay, normally yun po ang nailalabas po ng ating puso. So it's not 100% po, no, nung pumasok po sa ating heart ang nailalabas po ng ating heart at the same time. So it is 55% or higher. That's the normal ejection fraction po natin. So remember that your ejection fraction is also an indicator of ventricular function. So we need to remember this one. So kapag mahina po ang ating pong ventricle, kapag may problema po tayo sa ating ventricle, halimbawa in the cases na meron po tayong inflammation in the myocardium which affects your ventricular function, kapatid, hindi din po mataas ang ating pong ejection fraction. So we need to remember that one. Okay. So another concept then we need to understand about your stroke volume. Kapag sinabi po nating stroke volume, this is the volume of blood pumped out of the ventricles with each contraction. And this is determined by your preload, your afterload, and then your contractility. So yung stroke volume naman po is the amount of blood, okay, pumped out from the ventricles, okay, in each contraction. Okay, so now we're done with your basic anatomy and physiology. At ngayon naman po tatawid po tayo sa ating cardiac pharmacology. And I know and I pray your guys still well there. Chillax lang po tayo. Still, yan, may mga students po ako na pumapasok. I have here some familiar faces. Yan, nakikita ko din po. And also, kapatid, sa ating mga students all throughout, marami po akong supporters dito coming from USM, Medical Colleges of Northern Philippines, Isabela State University. They've been following me from the very beginning since day one I created my YouTube channel. So, salamat po. Salamat po for the support and also continue supporting po Epicus Tutorial and also Nursing Notes Simplified. Kay Coach Yasin at sa buong team po ninyo, maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po. Okay. So, at this time, let's discuss, kapatid, about the concept of your cardiac pharmacology. Bakit? Kapag master mo na po ang cardiac pharmacology, it's very easy for you, kapatid, okay, to get along every question, no? So again, still we are on a presentation phase, but kapag tumawid na po tayo sa ating pong cardiovascular disorders, doon na po tayo magkakaroon po ng organic na way of teaching. Okay, so here, kapatid, hindi natin pag-uusapan ang lahat ng cardiac pharma, I mean yung mga medications. Specifically, hindi po natin pag-uusapan lahat yon. Unang-una, because napakadami nun. And then pangalawa naman, kapatid, is because those medications na suking-suki na lumalabas sa board exam, sa Philippine Nurse Licensure Examination, and even at the nursing school, kapatid, we have those mainstream cardiac pharmacology. Okay, because most of the time, they are the ones that's being asked, okay, in the PNLE. So, pag-uusapan natin ang pinakamahalagang bagay about your cardiac pharmacology. Not all, not necessarily all, because primarily, I cannot teach you all of those things. Napakadami po nun. If isa-isayin po natin, mauubusan tayo ng oras. But, nevertheless, I will give you the most important things. Let's start with your antihypertensives. At dito po tayo actually very magdidwell. Okay? So, now let's discuss about your ACE inhibitors. So kapatid, kapag sinabi nating ACE inhibitors, okay, these are types of drugs which inhibits the process of your angiotensin the RAAS system. Okay? Specifically your angiotensin conversion. Okay? We have this what we call as your angiotensin conversion from your angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Okay? So, ngayon kapatid, ini-inhibit nito, okay, ang process po na iyon, the conversion of your angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. That's why from the very name of this medication, we call it angiotensin converting enzyme. Okay, inhibitor. So, what are those drugs, kapatid, na under your ACE inhibitors category? So, we have your prils. All of those drugs in prils, kapatid, dito sa ating antihypertensive, we call them ACE inhibitors. So, what are those? Number one is your captopril, enalapril, lisinopril. Okay, lahat po ng mga pril po natin, even your captopril. Yan, it's the most common ACE inhibitor that's given in the emergency room. Pagpasok po na pasyente na minsan when I was still an emergency room nurse, meron pong most of our patients po na dinadala po sa emergency room, ang complaint po nila ng mga ng mga hypertensive, it's because suddenly daw nag-shoot off yung kanilang BP. At that's really true, no? Pagdating nila sa emergency room, most of them amoy bawang because nga, again, this is sort of review according to the Department of Health. Isa po ang bawang or the Psyllium at Allium sativum, okay? That's the scientific name for your bawang. It's one of the accepted herbal medication or herbal plant by the Department of Health. Alam niyo na yun, yung Labi Santa. Okay? So, dito kapatid, when I was still an ER nurse, nagre-receive po kami ng mga pasyente na amoy bawang because nga, nilalagay nila sa lingually sa kanilang bibig and that serves as their anti-hypertensive. And that's true, it's a home remedy. But, pagkadating po nila sa hospital, they will be asked by the doctor whether nagkaroon na sila ng captopril, may captopril ba sa bahay. Kung wala, ipapalagay po sa sublingually. Okay? So that's what we call as your ACE inhibitor. Okay? And it's a classification of your antihypertensives. Okay. So now, another thing is your angiotensin II receptor blockers or your ARBs. Kung hindi naman po gumana sa ACE inhibitors, halimbawa, hindi po naitawid o hindi po gumana yung angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Now that we are in your angiotensin 2, dito naman po sa receptor ng angiotensin 2, ito naman po ang iba-block po ng ARBs po natin. So we call this one ARBs or ARBs. Ayan. So ano naman yung mga medications that are under the classification of your ARBs or your ARBs? First is your losartan. Okay, yung mga sartan po natin. We talk about losartan, valsartan, irbesartan, lahat po ng yan. So we call them as your angiotensin II receptor blockers or your ARBs or your ARBs. We call them as your ARBs. Okay? So now, another thing also is your, Okay, next is your beta blockers or your beta blockers. So we have your metoprolol, atenolol, lahat po ng mga olol, we call them as your beta blockers. Okay? So, minsan, we call them as your selective beta blockers. Okay. Another thing, kapatid, is your calcium channel blockers. Hala, that's why you need to remember that in your fluids and electrolyte imbalances, isa sa mga maalagang bagay when monitoring about your calcium levels is also, you need to remember that it affects the heart. Okay? Calcium is one of the essential electrolytes po for the pumping or for the normal activity, lalo-lalo na sa electrical activity ng ating pong puso. Okay? So, calcium channel blockers. Why? Because calcium, kapatid, is responsible for, is a potent inotropic. So, ibig sabihin, kapatid, isa siya sa nagme-maintain sa normal pumping of the heart. So, what are those drugs that are under your calcium channel blockers? So, we have your amlodipine, nifedipine, verapamil. So, we need to remember these things. Okay? Yung mga dipin na yan, nicardipine, amlodipine, nifedipine, yan. So, verapamil. So, these are your calcium channel blockers. And we also have your direct vasodilators, or we call them vasodilators, simply as your vasodilators. So we have your hydralazine, yan. Also your nitroglycerin, okay? That's an example, kapatid, of your direct vasodilators or simply as your vasodilators. Okay? So nitroglycerin, hydralazine is a direct vasodilator. So anong function niyan, kapatid? Simply when you take it, okay, the normal effect or the intended effect is that your blood vessels should now expand or vasodilate. Yan. So from the word itself is a direct vasodilator. So kailangan pong mag-vasodilate, okay, ng ating pong blood vessels. Okay. So these are the 5 anti-hypertensive classifications. So we need to remember about these things here. Again, you have your ACE inhibitors, lahat po ng mga prils, captopril, enalapril, lisinopril. So we call them as your ACE inhibitors. We also have your angiotensin II receptor blockers or your ARBs or your ARBs. You have your losartan, valsartan, irbesartan, beta blockers, your metoprolol, atenolol, calcium channel blockers, amlodipine, nifedipine, verapamil, and hydralazine, and also your nitroglycerin. Okay? So, now, each of these drugs po, meron lang po tayo ditong very, very important. I will be citing few drugs here or few medications here, and I will give you special nursing considerations for these drugs. Okay? So we need to remember these things that I will be telling you guys here. Okay. First is that, okay, let's talk about your ACE inhibitors. To be specific, we have here your enalapril. Okay. So it is an ACE inhibitor. Okay, you write that down. Enalapril is an ACE inhibitor, and it, of course, it is for your hypertension, and it is also given for your congestive heart failure. Okay, so now, kapatid, we need to remember that it can cause, number one, it can cause your dry cough. Okay, and enalapril, kapatid, ulitin ko po sa inyo, your enalapril can cause your dry cough. At kapag sa pagkakataon po na nagkaroon tayo ng dry cough dito, kailangan po nating i-discontinue po ang medication po na yan. Okay? Again, your enalapril can cause your dry cough and it should be discontinued if this occurs. So we need to remember that one. Okay? So remember that one, class. Another also is your losartan. Again, your losartan. Classification po natin, this is your angiotensin 2 receptor blocker or your ARBs. Ayan. Okay, so this is also for your hypertension, for your congestive heart failure, and also we need to monitor our liver and kidney functions because it greatly affects, kapatid. This is hepatotoxic and also nephrotoxic at the same time. Okay? So kapag nagtitake po tayo ng losartan, kapatid, we need to remember to monitor, strictly monitor, kapatid, our liver and our kidney functions. So take note of that and you need to write that down, kapatid. And it's very, very important for us to know why. Because, okay? Because, kapatid, in your pagdating po natin sa mga tanungan sa PNLE, the ones that's always being asked is the proper nursing actions. Okay, lalo-lalo pagdating sa ating mga medication, the proper nursing actions para po sa ating mga adverse effects, sa mga side effects po natin. It's all right for you to know that these drugs are your ARBs, your ACE inhibitors, your calcium channel blockers. But the most important thing there is that eto na, may mangyayari dito kapag tinake mo ang losartan. So, ano ang gagawin mo? Okay, what's the best nursing action for you to do? Okay, so that's it, class. You need to remember these things. Another thing, I think this would be last for our antihypertensives or for your cardiac pharmacology. First is last for this one is your amlodipine, which is classified as your calcium channel blocker. Okay, so it blocks the calcium channel. So amlodipine, nicardipine, nifedipine, so those are your calcium channel blockers. And this is also for your hypertension. And remember this one, this is also used for your angina. Okay, again, hypertension and then your angina. And ito po ang kailangan po natin ditong malaman. Firstly, it can cause your gingival hyperplasia. Yan. It can cause your gingival hyperplasia. And also, kapatid, we need to avoid grapefruit here. Why? Because your amlodipine antagonizes your grapefruit antagonizes the effects of your amlodipine. So, nawawalan po ng saysay kapag nagtitake po tayo ng amlodipine tapos iinom po tayo ng grapefruit. So, we need to avoid drinking grapefruit when we are taking your amlodipine. Okay, because it interferes with this medication. Okay, with your amlodipine. Another thing is that we should also remember that this causes your orthostatic hypotension. So this causes your orthostatic hypotension. So we need to remember this one. Okay, so I have here a practice question and I will be giving you, I think, siguro mga 10 seconds for you to answer this question. Okay? 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, so let's get ready. Which statement by a client demonstrate the need for additional teaching regarding amlodipine? Ayan, didiscuss lang natin, kapatid, ha. First, sabi ng pasyente, I might experience gum swelling with this medication. Letter B, I should avoid grapefruit while taking this drug. Letter C, if I get cough, I will stop using it. Letter D, I might experience dizziness and low blood pressure with these drugs. So your 10 seconds starts now, kapatid. Ayan. So time's up. Ayan, the best answer for this one. Let's try to know what's the best answer for this one. So, ang tanong lang simple, kung ano daw dito yung mali when it comes to amlodipine. Okay, sabi sa letter A. Okay, ano daw dito yung mali when it comes to amlodipine? Letter A, I might experience gum swelling. Sabi dito, tama ba? Well, you know what? This is correct because one of the problems, I mean, one of the complications that we can have is gingival hyperplasia or your gum swelling. So this is actually correct. So we need to remember that this is actually correct. Pero dahil yung hinahanap natin is mali, so this makes letter A wrong. So letter A is actually wrong. Okay? So letter B, I should avoid grapefruit. This is correct. Again, your grapefruit may interfere or may lower down the effect of your amlodipine. So we should avoid this one. So this is correct for your amlodipine. So this is wrong. Kasi again, yung hinahanap po natin is yung mali. Letter D, I might experience dizziness. And I might experience the dizziness and low blood pressure with this drug. You know what? This is also correct because your amlodipine will cause your orthostatic hypotension or your OH. Okay, so this is also wrong. So the best answer for this one, if I get cup, kapatid, I will stop using it. This is wrong. Bakit? The ones that can cause your dry cough is not, ano ulit yung nakakapag-cause, it's your enalapril. At kapag nakapag-cause po ang enalapril po natin ng ating pong dry cough, so we need to discontinue the medication. Okay? So, that ends. So, naging highlight topic po ito actually in the past 3 to 4 board examination actually, yun, your anti-hypertensive. So, the best answer for that one, okay, is your letter C because it is talking about your enalapril. Okay? So, that's it kapatid when it comes to your basic anatomy and physiology for your cardiovascular nursing. And also, kapatid, your basic pharmacology. Yan, cardiac pharmacology. So how are you guys? I hope everyone is doing well there. And Michelle Horolan, that's very, very correct. Michelle Morales Horolan, thank you for that. That's correct. Enalapril po ang nakakapag-cause kapatid ng ating pong yan, to our more than 666 na po tayo. And that's actually a Illuminati number. So, enjoying the live. Lars Takoy, so maraming salamat for you. Thank you so much. I'm also enjoying it here. Yan. So, now kapatid, let's try to discuss naman your specific cardiovascular disorders. Okay? So, ito na yung mga pangmalakasan nating discussion. So, now, when you think of your cardiovascular disorders, as I have been telling my students, wag po muna tayong magpapanik. Bakit? Kapatid, I tell you, wag kang magpapanik when we talk of your cardiovascular disorders. Why? I mean, not only of your cardiovascular disorders, what I'm trying to say is the entire medical surgical nursing concept. Bakit? Taas-baba lang po ang ating pong MS. Wag po tayong mag-alala. If it's not hypo, then it's hyper. And if it's not hyper, then it's hypo. Okay? If it's not increased, then it's decreased. And if it's not decreased, then it's increased. So, ganun lang po kasimple pagdating po sa ating pagdating po sa ating medical surgical nursing. Unlike in the concepts po of your, how do you call it, Palmer. In Palmer, kapag yun na po yung konsepto, yun na yun. Okay? So, that's it. So, right here, right now, kapatid, let's discuss about your cardiovascular disorders and let's start doing class let's start discussing your coronary artery disease. Okay? Coronary artery disease. Kapatid, kapag sinabi natin coronary artery, so ibig sabihin natin, kapatid, this is your disease na kung saan class. Coronary artery, simple lang. When we say coronary artery, these are the blood vessels, kapatid, that's located inside your heart. okay, or within your heart. Ibig sabihin sila yung nagsusupply ng dugo sa ating pong puso mismo or the heart muscle. So you need to remember that your blood carries your oxygen, and your oxygen is necessary for the normal functioning of our cells. So kapag wala pong blood, walang oxygen. Kung walang oxygen, walang normal functioning of our body organs. Okay. So kapag sinabi po natin kapag sinabi po natin coronary artery disease, okay, this is simply, you write this down, kapatid, this is simply as the obstruction. Isulat natin. Okay, this is the obstruction. You write that down. Okay, the obstruction of the coronary artery. Yan. So kapag nabara po yan, may problema tayo. Okay? So may problema tayo kapag nabara po ang ating coronary artery. So let's discuss about the causes. Kapatid, kapag sinabi natin causes, madali lang isipin to. What are the causes of your coronary artery disease or your CAD or your CAD? We call it CAD. Number one, kapatid, okay, is your clot. So simple lang, nabara. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Nabara po ang ating puso, so there's no problem. Okay, kapag mabara po ang ating puso, problema po yan. Okay, number two, also is your isulat po natin, atherosclerotic. Okay, atherosclerotic plaque. Okay, yung ating pong plaque sa ating puso, that's it. So this is the second cause of your CAD or your coronary artery disease. So alam nyo, madali lang siyang i-manage. Bakit? Madali siya pero mahirap siyang gawin. Okay, what is your common management for this one? What is your common management for this one? How do you manage, kapatid, how do you manage your coronary artery disease? Of course, we manage it by your diet therapy. Tandaan po natin, diet din tayo pag may time. Sino dyan yung mga naka-OMAD? Yan, yung mga naka 1 meal a day. Yung naka 1 meal a day mong classmate, itap mo naman. Yan, itag mo naman, oh, sa ating pong comment section. So, number one is your diet therapy. So, what diet therapy? Of course, low fat. Okay? Low fat or low cholesterol diet. Yan. Ating pong mga, sayang po, no? Ang napakasarap po ng lechon talaga. Okay. So, again, what type of cholesterol po ang nakakapag-cause po nito? It's your LDL. Yan, yung ating po mga low density lipoprotein, no? So, what is this management? Of course, number one is your diet therapy, and also, kapatid, we need to avoid your saturated oil. Ayan. So, avoid your saturated oil. So, what you will use? Okay, ano po yung gagamitin po natin? Okay, use. Okay, ano pong gagamitin natin? Lumalabas to sa board, kapatid. Okay? Lumalabas dito yung ating number one is your olive oil. Use olive oil. Okay? And then, pwede din po gumamit ng tinatawag po nating use sunflower oil. Yan. Okay, ito po yung gagamitin po natin, yung ating pong olive oil or your sunflower oil. Okay? So, we need to remember that one. So, kapag lumabas na sa tanungan, which of the following could be used by the nurse? Okay, could be suggested by the nurse for a patient with coronary artery disease, letter A. Yan. So, dyan na yan lalabas, kapatid. Okay? So, we need to remember that one. Okay? So, use olive oil or use sunflower oil. Yan. So, another management din, kapatid, na pwede natin gawin, number 3, is magkaroon tayo ng exercise program. Yan. So, daily or timely exercise po ang kailangan po natin, no, for this type of diseases. So, kailangan po natin magkaroon ng exercise program. So, we need to remember that one. Yan. So, kung gaano po kung gaano po kahaba, they should be having at least 15 to 30 minutes daily exercise. Okay? 15 to 30 minutes daily exercise. Yan. So, we need to remember that one. Another thing, kapatid, okay? Another thing is pwede nating gawin yung ating pong surgical management. So, when we say surgical management, kapatid, ano ba ang surgical management na ginagawa po natin in your coronary artery disease? Okay, when we say surgical management, kapatid, we use your, what's that surgical management that we use here? We use your PTCA. Anong PTCA? It's not parents, teachers, okay, association. When we say PTCA, kapatid, it's your, okay, sulat ninyo. This is your percutaneous. Okay, you write that down. Okay, percutaneous, okay, percutaneous transluminal. Okay, transluminal. Yan, transluminal, luminal, coronary artery. Okay, angiography. So this is eto supposedly no, this is a diagnostic test, and this is actually the gold standard na tinatawag po natin when it comes to coronary artery disease diagnostic test. However, this could also be used, no kapatid, in your this could also be used in management of your coronary artery disease. Why? Because the plaque no is being removed here. Okay? So tandaan po natin when it comes to your PTCA, saan po ito ini-insert? Ang pinakamahalagang alam po natin dito is that it is being inserted in your femoral artery. Okay? You write this down, kapatid. It is being inserted in your femoral artery. You write that down there. Yan. Femoral artery po natin yan. Okay? Ini-insert. Again, angiogram, kapatid, is also, kapatid, your angiogram is a gold standard, no? And it's being used, kapatid, in your coronary artery disease. So, first one is your PTCA, another din na management, kapatid. Okay, another management, and actually this is the most commonly no used na management is yung surgery na po, which we call as your CABG. What is your CABG? Kapatid, kapag sinabi po natin CABG, this is your coronary, isulat po natin, coronary artery bypass graft. Okay? So ibig sabihin, class, yung part po ng ating pong puso na kung saan meron pong bara, meron pong plaque na namuo, okay, this will be removed. Okay? This will be removed. Tatanggalin po natin yan, kapatid. Okay? So that's now management na ginagawa po natin in your CABG. Okay, so ang problema lang po natin dito, okay, meron lang po tayong disadvantage dito when it comes to your CABG. Meron po tayo ditong problema, no? So, it's more dreadful, and okay, this is, of course, no, kailangan po ito. Because this is dreadful, it needs really, again, kapag pumasok po yung mga surgical management na nasabi, one thing na dapat pumapasok po sa ating isipan is that this is a dreadful, this is a very invasive procedure. So, wala na pong mas invasive pa dito when it comes to our management. Okay? So, this is what we call as your coronary artery disease. So, first disease po natin is your coronary artery, and that's it, kapatid. Ito po yung pinakamahalagang konsepto na dapat po na ay alam po natin. Okay. So, next, let's talk about your angina. Yan, ito yung pinaka-common, no? Angina pectoris. Yan, angina pectoris, or simply as your angina. Okay, so kapag sinabi po nating angina, kapatid, yes, when we say angina, this is simply as your chest pain. Okay, sometimes we call this as aka as your chest pain. Pero hindi po lahat ng chest pain, kapatid. It's because of the problem of the heart. So we also need to remember that ang problem po natin dito, the main problem po natin dito, it's because of your what we call as your myocardial ischemia. Isulat po natin, it's your myocardial ischemia. So kapatid, kapag sinabi nating myocardial ischemia, so ibig sabihin bumaba po no ang blood supply or oxygen supply into the heart muscle po natin. That's why it's myocardial ischemia. So yun po ang nagiging problema po natin dito. It's because of the low oxygen. So ano po ang problem po natin dito? Kapatid, because ang nangyayari din dito is nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag nating anaerobic. Isulat po natin, anaerobic metabolism. Okay, anaerobic metabolism, kung saan po, kapatid, ang nagiging outcome po nito, kapatid, is your creation of your lactic acid. So we need to remember, kapatid, I've always been telling my student about this one, na kapag may lactic acid po tayo, remember that this is an acid. Lahat po ng acid sa katawan natin is actually irritant. Okay? Irritant. So we need to remember, halimbawa, muriatic acid, kapatid, kapag ibinubudbud po natin, even your citric acid in your calamansi, kapatid, it irritates our skin. So we need to remember that it's actually something na would irritate our body because acid are normally irritant to the body, no? So wala pong natutuwa because of acid. Even po yung alak, no, it's an acid, no? And even in your simple things or simple substances at home which are acid, it could irritate, no? Halimbawa yung acido, alam natin yan, no? That it could irritate, okay, us. So what are the types of your what are the types, kapatid, of your angina pectoris? So let's enumerate what are the types of your angina pectoris. Number one is yung tinatawag nating stable angina pectoris or stable AP. So kapag sinabi po nating stable AP, yan, kapag sinabi po nating stable angina pectoris, ibig sabihin, kapatid, this is okay, this is felt, no, or this can be felt, no, or this can be carried out even with your activity. Okay, still kaya po natin. This can be managed with your activity and this could be relieved. Isulat po natin, relieved with or, okay, this could be relieved with or by rest or, okay, by rest or your nitroglycerin. Isulat po natin, this could be relieved by rest or your nitroglycerin. So we need to remember that when it comes to angina pectoris, very very technical po ang ating pong American Heart Association dito. Even our references sa mga books po dito, why? Because the American Heart Association always publish this new standards or standards of management of your heart diseases every 5 years, no? Even your even po kung mapapansin po natin, ang ating pong basic life support nagbabago yan. Always every 5 years. Okay? So here, this is relieved, no? With rest or nitroglycerin. Okay, another, kapatid. Okay, another type. Kung meron tayong stable, meron din tayo, of course, no? Meron din tayong unstable. Yan, meron din tayong, kung may stable, meron ding unstable angina. Okay, so when we say unstable angina, kapatid, anong dapat ang iisipin natin? Number one, okay, kung ito, this can be with activity. Okay, so dito naman, kapatid, even at rest, no? Even at rest, pwede kang magkaroon dito ng unstable angina. So, even at rest and also, kapatid, this can lead, okay? This can lead to, this is now the most dreadful part of this one. Your unstable angina can lead to your acute myocardial infarction. Okay? Again, it can lead to your acute isulat niyo, acute myocardial infarction. Okay? So ito na yung kinatatakutan natin, no, kung ang inyo pong angina may lead to your acute myocardial infarction. Okay? So another also, kapatid, okay? Another, kapatid, na type of your angina is yung tinatawag po nating Prinzmetal. Sulat po natin. Okay? This is what we call as your Prinzmetal. Okay? Sulat po natin. The Prinzmetal, okay, angina pectoris. Okay? Your Prinzmetal angina pectoris. So, ang Prinzmetal naman po na ito, kapatid, this is due to vasoconstriction po. Okay? Vasoconstriction and also due to or vasospasm. Yan. So para po sa mga ito na actually yung sinasabi nila, no, when I was still young. I've always been reminded by my mom, my lola, kahit po yung mga matatanda, no, sa community natin. Uy, wag kang maliligo kasi baka daw sumikip yung dibdib mo ng bigla, tapos commonly daw na namamatay lalo sa gabi, no. It's because of this problem. So this is actually what we call as your Prinzmetal angina pectoris. Okay, this is due to your vasoconstriction or your vasospasm. Okay, so that's what we call as your Prinzmetal angina pectoris. Well, dito naman, kapatid, it's because this is really uncontrolled. So we need to remember that whether, no, which of the types, no, of your angina pectoris meron tayo, we need to be ready with the medications, lalo na po, no, sa mga nurses, emergency room nurses. We need to be prepared with your nitroglycerin patch, your direct vasodilators, no, also with your emergency medications, no, for your management of angina pectoris. So now let's continue with your how do we manage management? How do we management for, or I mean, how do we manage for your angina pectoris? Okay, what are your management? Ano ba ang management na ginagawa natin dito? Isa-isahin natin, kapatid. Okay, number one. Okay, number one is, okay, instruct client. Okay, we need to instruct the client to what? Okay, may instruct tayo sa pasyente po natin. Okay, instruct client to, okay, number one, ano pong instruct natin? Ano po yung instruct natin? Basically, kapatid, we give our patients yung tinatawag po nating 4 E's. What are those 4 E's? Okay, ano po yung 4 E's natin? Okay, number one. Una, kapatid, is exercise. Yan. Exercise properly. And when you say exercise, kapatid, okay, according to our books, nagkakaisa po sila, kapatid, in promoting a at least 15 to 30 minutes na exercise daily. Yan, we need to remember that one. Okay, also to control emotions. Okay, when we say emotions, kapatid, these are your extreme emotions, kapatid. And also to um take heed and also remember about your extreme temperatures. We also need to guard of our environment. And also, yan, another din, kapatid, is the manner of eating ng isang tao. Okay? The manner of eating, like lalong-lalo na yung mga mahilig sa mga heavy meal. Yan, yung mga nasa bulalo. Okay? So, we need to remember this one. Yan. Okay? So, we also need to educate. Okay, educate about the type of pain, kapatid, na meron po tayo in your angina pectoris. Okay? So we need to educate our clients po about the pain na meron po tayo. Okay? So we need to remember na ang origin po nito, okay, origin po ng pain po natin when it comes to angina pectoris, okay, it originates from the what? From where? Okay? From the anterior wall. Okay, tandaan po natin, ang pain po natin dito ay nagsisimula sa anterior wall po ng chest po natin. So ibig sabihin sa front at hindi po sa likod nagsisimula yan, ha. Okay? And this is also a vague. Okay, tandaan po natin, vague, hindi po siya specific. Okay? And also it radiates. Tandaan po natin, it radiates. That's why we call it radiating pain in your myocardial infarction. So we need to remember that thing there, class. Okay? So it's a radiating pain po ang nararamdaman po ng pasyente po natin. Okay? Also, kapatid, we also need to remember that, okay, that most of your angina pectoris, kapatid, is always exercise. Okay, exercise related. You write that down. It's always exercise related or mostly. And also, kapatid, this type of pain or your AP is pain or your chest pain that is relieved, okay, by nitroglycerin. You know what? I have been feeling this relieved by. Okay? I have been feeling this chest pain for quite some time, pero I know that it's not angina pectoris. It's because hindi naman siya yung kagaya ganito, okay? Hindi kagaya nitong mga characteristics ng pain na meron po tayo in your angina pectoris. Okay? And also, we need to remember that this is in short duration. Okay? Short in duration. Tandaan po natin. Okay? Short po in duration ang ating pong pain in your angina pectoris. Okay. Now, how do we manage? Okay, how do we manage your patient? How do we manage your patient? Let's talk about the medication na ginagamit po natin dito. Medication that we use, class, in your angina pectoris. So, of course, we use your coronary. You write that down. You use your coronary vasodilators. Vasodilators. Okay, we use your coronary vasodilators para po mag-vasodilate po dito, kapatid, ang ating pong coronary blood vessels. So, ayan, congratulations to Nursing Notes Simplified. 100,000 followers, grabe. Okay? Congratulations to the very great team po ni Coach Yasin. Sa lahat po ng mga nag-follow, sa lahat po ng mga avid fans po ng NNS, congratulations po. So, that's patalastas. Okay, so medication, we give our patient your coronary vasodilator. So ano po ang mga vasodilators po na ginagamit po natin dito? We use your nitrates. Again, remember the nitrates po. Okay, we give your nitrates, okay, or your nitroglycerin. Okay, we use nitroglycerin. Yan, nitroglycerin. And in giving this one, kapatid, we need to remember, okay, so this is sublingually given. Sublingual. Okay, sublingual. Okay, given in sublingual, and we also need to instruct na meron tong tinatawag na, okay, sublingual to, and meron siyang tinatawag na tingling, or fizzling sensation. Yan, meron po siyang tingling. Para siyang nagpa-pop. Actually, ganun po ang, although hindi pa ako nakatry, but I've asked some of my when I was still an ER nurse, some of my patients would tell me, "Sir, parang siyang pumuputak-putak, parang siyang nakikilitin, no, yung bibig." And that's just a normal sensation po na mararamdaman po ng ating pasyente. Okay? So, may fizzling sensation po. Just like the popping boba, no? O yung mga candies dati na pumuputok-putok sa ating po mga bibig. So, that's a normal, that's a normal sensation that could be felt by a patient taking your nitroglycerin. Okay, so when this happens, this actually signifies that the drug is potent. Okay, signifies that drug. Okay, it signifies that drug is potent. Okay, so wag po tayong mabahala kapag nagkakaroon po ng fizzling or tingling sensation po, no, sa ating pong we let our patients know na it's just a normal sensation na mararamdaman po nila. Okay? So it loses, tandaan po natin that isa din sa mga bagay na dapat po ay alam po nila is that it loses its potency. Okay, nawawala po ang kanyang potency. It loses its potency for about, okay, it loses potency for about how many minutes or how many months. Okay, so tandaan po natin, kapatid, that within 3 to 6 months, kapatid, of taking, no, our nitroglycerin, no, it loses its potency. Okay, so we need to remember this one. So we need to inform also, that's why ganun po kamahalaga, no, that we are informing our doctors or our physicians about the duration wherein our patients has already been using or taking your nitroglycerin, okay, or has been utilizing nitroglycerin as a drug here, no, for our patient who was po angina. Okay, so we need to take note of this one. And also, another thing is, meron po itong limit. So the maximum allowed use po of, okay, maximum of 3 doses. Okay, maximum of 3 doses in 5 minutes interval. Okay, and also we need to put it in a dark container. Yan. So ito po yung pinakamahalagang bagay na dapat po ay alam po natin. Okay? Yan. So we need to remember this one here. Ayan. Okay? So these are the most important nursing consideration, kapatid, kapag gumagamit po tayo ng ating pong nitroglycerin na sublingual manner. Yan. Pwede rin po tayong gumamit, kapatid, ng ating pong tinatawag na other way kung wala po tayong sublingual. We also have isa sa mga ginagamit na ngayon commonly, kapatid, is yung tinatawag po nating transdermal. Isulat po nating transdermal patch. Yan. Okay? Alam nyo, tinatanong na to recently sa mga boards, yan. And ito suking-suki talaga sa board examination, no? When we say transdermal patch, kapatid, okay, we should be remembering that when we apply this one, we need to take note of the placement, no, which should only be placed in our patient, no, on a specific part po ng patient's chest, sa patient's chest po natin for 12 hours. Ayan. Okay, so this is to avoid our drug tolerance, no. Actually, meron pa sa other books, pwede siyang gamitin 16 hours to 24 hours. Pero whenever you will be asked in the boards or even in your nursing school, yung pinaka mabilis po, it's actually better. Okay? So now, if ever you will be asked, Sir, pwede po bang mag-swimming ang aming pong pasyente, because this might be asked, no? Pwede bang mag-swimming ang aming pasyente? Pwede po bang mag-shower? The answer is our patient may or can take your shower, may shower, or may take swimming. Okay? Tandaan po natin, it's a common misconception kasi, no, na hala, hindi daw pwede, it's because meron kang transdermal patch. But you cannot or you don't, okay, you don't rub, okay, do not rub class. Yan, yung ating pong patch na nakalagay po or naka-apply. Ayan. So these are the most important thing, class, na we should be remembering about your management of your AP. So let's proceed to another disease, kapatid. Another problem din, kapatid, in your cardiovascular nursing. We have your myocardial infarction. Okay. This is my most favorite topic when it comes to your cardiovascular. Okay? So, alam nyo kung bakit nangyayari ang ating myocardial infarction. Simple lang, kapatid. Myocardial infarction is the most dreadful complication, kapatid, of your deep vein thrombosis, of your clots na napunta po sa heart. It's a basic actually concept na kapag po ang ating pong clot or the how do you call this, the thrombus formation, kapag madislodge po sa puso, the problem is myocardial infarction. Kapag po naman madislodge siya sa brain, the problem might be your cerebral infarction. So it's actually the same concept. Nagkaiba lang sila kung saan po sila napunta. Okay? Your myocardial infarction, simply, this is pagkabara, no, due to, okay, this happens, kapatid, okay, tandaan po natin, this happens because or due to, okay, prolonged, sulatin nyo, due to prolonged ischemia. Yan, ischemia, or ito po yung problem natin, no, it's because remember that your heart, no, also needs oxygen within its muscle, because again, it's a muscle, kailangan din po niya ng oxygen para po ma-maintain niya yung normal functioning, no, of your heart muscle itself, the normal pumping. So again, it happens for this ischemia normally of yung pong mga more than 30 minutes na ating pong ischemia in the heart. Okay? So now, let's discuss about what are the signs and symptoms. Okay? Ano ba yung signs and symptoms po natin na meron tayo in your myocardial infarction? Okay. So, again, number 1 is chest pain. Yan. Actually, your AP, your angina pectoris, is later on, nagiging consequence niya po yung ating pong tinatawag na chest pain. Okay? So, when we say, kapatid, na chest pain, kapatid, AP, okay, it could lead to a more severe, a more persistent, more severe. Hindi siya kagaya sa AP, kanina sa AP, yung bearable chest pain. But dito it's more severe, okay, and persistent, kapatid, isulat po ninyo, and persistent, and also sometimes it can be continuous. Yan po ang ating pong description of the pain that's located, class, or that's the pain or the type of pain that's in your myocardial infarction. And question, okay, let's have a question here. Okay, number 1, is your pain in your, okay, the question here, is your pain in your myocardial relieved by your nitroglycerin? Letter A, yes. Letter B, no. Okay? Sige. You give your answer in your comment section. Nare-relieve ba, kapatid, ng inyong nitroglycerin, class? Okay? Ang ating pong pain in your myocardial infarction. Just answer me yes or no. Victoria Aguila, no. Giovanni Hiray, he said no. Is it no? Yes or no? Pwede ba natin gamitin as a management ang nitroglycerin? Sabi si Niyub Ongesaig Brown, yes. Angel K. Comendador, yes. Dilara Tampilik, yes. Yan. the answer is actually, you know what? The problem or the type of pain that's in your myocardial infarction, okay, is unrelieved or cannot be relieved, okay, by your nitroglycerin. So the very reason, kapatid, kung bakit nag-lead na tayo in your um in your myocardial infarction, because it can't be relieved. No, in the very first place, we've used nitroglycerin because we're suspecting for your AP, and that's correct. No, that's correct. But the question is, could it be relieved? No, pwede ba natin gamitin, no, to relieve the chest pain that we have in your myocardial infarction? Can we use nitroglycerin? The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. Okay, so we need to remember that one. Another din na makikita po natin is your nausea. Yan, nausea and yan, may kakambal parati yan eh. Nausea and you're vomiting. So NNV is also evident here. Also, diaphoresis. So we need to remember this one. Diaphoresis is also a symptom. And also ito, palagi siyang kasama the cool, clammy skin. Yan. So this is also a problem that we have here, no? Okay? So, sometimes kapatid, in reverse, pwede ding hindi cool clammy, no, ang maramdaman or makita natin sa pasyente. Our patient might also have this fever. Why? Because this is already due to the inflammation na meron po si ating patient. Okay? This is due to inflammation na meron po si ating pasyente. So, we need to remember this one. Also, kapatid, ang pasyente din po natin ay pwedeng magkaroon ng leukocytosis. Why? This is again because of the inflammation na meron. Okay? Because of inflammation na meron. So, pwede na si pasyente po magkaroon ng inflammation. And also, there will be kapatid, an increased, okay, ESR. So, this is actually found in your laboratory results. ESR, which means your erythrocyte sedimentation rate, okay? So we need to remember this one, okay? Yung ating pong erythrocyte sedimentation rate. Ayan. Okay? So, kapatid, ano po ulit yung ating pong, when it comes to our markers in the laboratory, ano pa sa tingin ninyo? You write down in the comment, ano pa sa tingin ninyo ang magsisilabasan? Okay? As your indicators, kapatid. Okay, anong dalawang mahalagang laboratory results ang titingnan po natin? Okay, sa ating pong pasyente. Okay, number one, kapatid, let's talk about your laboratories. Ano ba yung pinakamalaga? That's why I'm putting class here, the most important yellow label. It's because it's an important notes, kapatid. Okay, so ang mahalagang bagay na dapat tingnan po natin, very good yan. Okay, nakikita ko na po sa ating pong comment section. Okay, very good po. Mahalagang bantayan po natin ang positive. Yan, positive po. Na number one, muna nating titingnan is yung ating pong CPK-MB. Yan. Ayan, CPK-MB or yung creatinine phosphokinase isoenzyme MB. Yan. Okay? And also, kapatid, yan, nakikita ko na po sa inyo is nakikita rin po natin yung ating pong troponin. Yan. Troponin or your tinatawag po nating trop-I. Yan, troponin. Ayan. Okay? So, trop-I po, yung pinakamalagang dapat po nating bantayan when it comes to patients class wherein we are suspecting, no, to have or to be experiencing your myocardial infarction. Yan. And also, kapatid, when it comes to ECG, very correct din, no? I saw kanina po yung ating pong ECG. May pagbabago din po sa ating ECG. And when it comes to ECG, kapatid, ang dapat po nating bantayan is yung tinatawag nating pathologic. Isulat po ninyo. Yun yung po pathologic Q-wave. Yan. Okay? Or your widen Q-wave. Yung tinatawag po nating widen Q-wave. Yan. Okay? So, we need to remember that one. Okay. Now, let's talk about your very important nursing management. Yan, nursing management. Okay? What's the most important nursing management natin dito? So, isa-isahin po natin, kapatid. Okay? So, the most important nursing management po na dapat po ay ginagawa po natin dito. Start Okay? Number 1, ang pinakamahalaga po is your bed rest. Yan. So, bed rest po. Why? This is to decrease the demand. Yan. To decrease the demand. Okay? Mahalaga po na magkaroon po ang pasyente natin ng bed rest to decrease the demand for what? For oxygen. Ang problema po natin kasi dito, kapatid, is there is a lack of oxygen here. So that's why, no, for us to be para din no magkaroon ng low demand of oxygen dito, kailangan din po natin kapatid ng low demand no for oxygen. Okay? So bed rest po ang kailangan natin dito. Okay? Another also, ano ba ang magiging position ng pasyente po natin? We position our patient to semi-Fowler's position. Ayan. So we also need to, okay, put our patient to semi-Fowler's position. Bakit kapatid? Bakit sa tingin ninyo kailangan po naka-semi-Fowler's position ng ating pasyente? Sige, you comment down. Bakit kailangan magkaroon ng semi-Fowler's position? Very good tayo, Christina Harlego. Bakit? The answer is, bakit? Yan. To allow. Yan, very good. To allow. Yan. Very good si Michelle Horolan talaga. No? May valedictorian na tayo tonight. Yan. Okay? Michelle Horolan, to allow lang expansion. Yan. Okay? To allow lang expansion. And that's very correct, kapatid. No? Okay, so also, we need to avoid Valsalva maneuver. Yan. Also, avoid Valsalva maneuver. You write it down. Okay? Avoid Valsalva maneuver. Bakit, kapatid? Bakit? Bakit we should avoid Valsalva maneuver? Why? Because we should be avoiding, okay, the stimulation of your vagus nerve. You know what your Valsalva maneuver class, okay, would avoid. This is to avoid, okay, yan, very good tayo yan. Stimulation of vagus nerve, yan. Ang tanong, yan, ang sagot, ayan. Very good tayo, Joshua Lalas Chan. It's because, yan, this is to avoid class your bradycardia. Yan, because the triggering class of your vagus nerve class, okay, would also trigger, no, your bradycardia. Avoid intra-abdominal pressure. That's also correct, kapatid. Okay? So, kapatid, kapag tinatanong kita, anong cranial number ang inyong ang inyong vagus nerve, anong cranial nerve number? Okay, that's cranial nerve number 10. Tandaan po natin yan. Okay? So, yan. So, now kapatid, also, we should also give our patient stool, okay, softener. Gumagamit po tayo dito ng stool softener. And best example po ng stool softener po natin dito is yung Ducosate. Sulat po natin. Ducosate sodium. Ayan. Okay? Ducosate po ang ginagamit po natin. One of the most commonly used stool softener po natin dito is your Ducosate. Yan. Okay? Yan. Ducosate sodium. So, another kapatid, we can also give kapatid kung walang Ducosate. Okay, pwede rin tayong gumamit ng mineral oils. Yan. Mineral oil. Okay, of 1 to 3 teaspoon. Yan. 1 to 3 teaspoon po ginagamit po natin dito. Yan. 1 to 3 teaspoon we can use that. Okay? So, of course, we also continuous cardiac monitoring. Yan. Nagmo-monitor din po sa ating pasyente. We do the continuous cardiac monitoring. Bakit? Yan. Alam po natin that our patient class may die at any moment kapag nag-MI po, no? Okay. So, another also is your pharmacology. So, we give your medications. Ano bang medications, kapatid? Nakita ko na kanina, kapatid. Okay? So, what medications do we give? Ayan, nakita ko na kanina. Yan, lactulose po din tayo gumamit niyan, kapatid. Okay, so laxatives. Also, what are your medications, kapatid? We give your, ano pong medications na ginagamit po natin dito? Your letter M. Yan, Monat. Very good tayo dyan. Okay, we use your morphine. Yan. Okay, morphine. Okay, morphine. Yan, morphine sulfate. Tandaan po natin. Okay, but, class, ang tanong, yan, ang sagot, what is the most important class na assessment that we should be assessing or we should be doing to our patient class before giving your morphine sulfate, kapatid. Okay? What is the most important assessment, kapatid? Okay? Anong pinakamahalagang assessment? Of course, we should be assessing first, no, the respiratory rate of our patient. Because okay, we should be assessing the RR of the patient. Why? Because, kapatid, ang inyo pong morphine sulfate, kapatid, is a potent respiratory depressant. Kapag below, okay, kapag less than po 12 po ang ating pong RR, we need to hold the medication. Okay? So we need to remember this one. So this is an important nursing consideration here. Kapag below 12 po, we hold the medication. Ayan, very good. Okay, very good tayo sa ating mga nagre-respond po sa ating comment section. Yun, may mga graded recitation tayo, no? Okay, another part of the management that we should be having, class, is your oxygen. Of course, no? Dapat may oxygen tayo. Ang tanong, class, okay, is your oxygen, class, a independent or dependent nursing intervention, kapatid? Okay, halimbawa, tinanong to once in the boards, no? Okay, is your oxygenation? Okay, sige nga, let's try to have this one. Oxygenation, letter A, independent. Letter B, okay, dependent. Okay, letter C, okay, multidisciplinary. Okay, multidisciplinary. Or letter D, nota or none of the above. Okay, sagot. What is your right answer, kapatid, kapag tinanong ka, is your oxygenation? Letter A, an independent. Letter B, dependent. Letter C, multidisciplinary. Letter D, none of the above. Isulat mo. Okay, the answer is, sige nga, let's try to answer this. I'll be giving you 10 seconds. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D. Okay, let's try to answer one by one, kapatid. Okay? Sige. Ayan, kumikita ko nang sumasagot si June Marie Humuad, Melissa de Jesus Escoto, yan, si Vane Fahar. Okay, sige, let's try to answer this one here. Okay, so, oxygenation, is it independent, dependent, or multidisciplinary nursing intervention? Bakit siya naging multidisciplinary? Kasi kailangan pa ba nating humingi? Yan, okay? So, now, the best answer for this one, okay, alam nyo, according to Kosher Herb Berman and Snyder, sabi ng mga lola natin, no, sa boards, okay, sabi ng mga lola natin, our oxygenation, kapatid, is actually an independent nursing intervention. Okay, tandaan ninyo, nagiging independent nursing intervention ka. Ang sagot pala dito, ha, the best answer here is depende. Okay? Depende yan. Kapag ang oxygenation po natin will only need 0 to 2, okay? 0 to 2 liters per minute, dito po tayo nagiging independent po ang ating pong nursing intervention. Yan. Okay? Now, when it comes to 3 and above, yan, 3 and above po, 3 and above, yan, 3 and above LPM, okay, kapag 3 and above LPM na, so ibig sabihin, kapatid, that it becomes now dependent. So, kailangan na po yan. So, halimbawa, pagpasok po ng ating pong pasyente sa emergency room, if you'll only be giving a low flow oxygen at 0 to 2, then that's the time na ang ating pong oxygenation ay nagiging independent nursing intervention. But kung, kapatid, dependent po dito, no, of course, no, it's 3 and above liters per minute. Okay? So, basically, it's not a multidisciplinary nursing intervention, but primarily, it's an independent nursing intervention. Okay? Yan. So, very good. May natutunan tayo doon. Okay, let's give also our patient, kapatid, aspirin. Okay? Aside from your oxygen, from morphine and aspirin, oxygen, you also give your patient aspirin. Okay? Bakit natin dito binibigyan si pasyente ng aspirin as platelet? Tandaan po natin, as platelet aggregator. Ayan, aggregator inhibitor. Yan. So, tandaan po natin that one of the causes might be for your myocardial infarction is nabara po ang ating pong puso, ang ating coronary artery. So, one of the best management that we can give to our patient here, kapatid, is you give our aspirin, no? Yan. So, you remember that one there, kapatid. Okay. Another management also that we can give to your patient is we also give your thrombolytic. Yan. your thrombolytic. Yan. Okay? We also give our patient, kapatid, sorry. We also give our patient nitroglycerin. I missed that one. Nitroglycerin. Yes, we also give our patient nitroglycerin here. Pero the purpose of having here nitroglycerin is not as a main management, but actually to maintain the vasodilation within the coronary artery. And last but not the least, kapatid, is your tandaan po natin, is your thrombolytic. Yan, thrombolytic. Yan. So, okay, sometimes we call this fibrinolytic. Fibrinolytic, isulat po natin. Fibrinolytic or lytic. And we give these to our patient, kapatid. What are those drug class? Yung may mga kinase, streptokinase. Okay, we give that to our patient. Yun, altiplase. Okay, you need to remember that one. Okay, altiplase, urokinase, and also yung mga abukinase. Okay, more and more and more and more. Okay? So that's it, kapatid. Okay? Yes, very good that one, to relieve the thrombus. Yan. Okay? To relieve the thrombus ang pasyente. Class, ang tanong. Okay. So, ang tanong, ang patient po natin, we are now suspecting for your MI, but meron po tayo ditong problema with peptic, okay, but with peptic ulcer disease. Okay. But with peptic ulcer disease. Okay. So, ang tanong, what will you give? What will you give to your patient? Ano nga bang ibibigay natin? Sige. Okay? Sige, you write down all your answer, kapatid. Kapag meron po tayong pasyente na may MI pero may peptic ulcer disease, what will you give? You write, you comment down your answers, kapatid. Okay, I'll be waiting for all of your answers. Okay, anong ibibigay natin? Halimbawa, kung meron tayong yes po, meron po tayong MI, we can give class your aspirin. However, class, meron po tayong problem. Meron pong peptic ulcer disease si pasyente. So, ang sagot ngayon, what will you give? Ano nga ba ang ibibigay mo sa pasyente mo? Okay. You write down your answer, kapatid. Okay? You write down your answer. You comment down your answer. Okay? Antacid, ASA. Yan. Okay? What will you give sa pasyente, kapatid? Kung meron tayong yes, we supposedly, we should be giving aspirin, to have, or to be antagonist, for your platelet aggregation. So now, ang problema natin ay may tendency to bleed the patient. It's because of the presence of the peptic ulcer disease. So ano nga bang ibibigay natin? So the best answer here is, sige nga, I still cannot see still cannot see the right answer there. Okay, the best answer there, class, is yan. Okay, we can give our patient yan. Pwede nating bigyan si pasyente ng itong mga bagay po na pwede po nating ibigay. Number one is you write this down, kapatid. Okay, number one is you give your patient your clopidogrel. Okay, clopidogrel. Yan. Okay, the brand name po is Plavix. And also, kapatid, we can also give your patient, kapatid, okay, Plavix. Yan. And also, kapatid, okay, you also give your patient ticlopidine. Yan. Okay, ticlopidine. Yan. Or brand name is your ticlopidine. Lumalabas to sa boards. I think lumabas to I think siguro in the last 3. Okay, all of these questions or all of these concepts here are being asked. Bumalik po ang ating pong PNLE, sa pagiging into more of the diseases, kasi the trajectory of our PNLE in this country is very, very cyclical, during the early 2000, during the mid 2010s, halimbawa in the year 2014, 2015, 2016, it's more on the community health nursing, Naungkat pa nga dyan yung ating pong tinatawag na ating pong COPAR, no? But now, it's more on the MS. Masyadong ma-MS na po ngayon, no? I think it's because of the trend also ng pagbabago ng NCLEX po natin, no? Because internationally, the nursing standards of our country should also follow the standards that's also set no by the international nursing community. Okay? So siguro ganun po ang nangyayari. Okay? So we also give our patient your fibrinolytic, halimbawa yung mga TPA or tissue plasmogen minogen activator. Yan. Okay? So your TPAs. Okay? So that's it. So we need to remember that one. Okay? So these are the concepts kapatid na we should be knowing. Again, kapag may pong MI but with peptic ulcer disease, okay? So we need to remember that we give this patient, okay, these things. Also kapatid, pwede din po tayong magbigay another medication din po. Fibrinolytic i-add ko lang po sa inyo. Okay, added medication kapatid, baka lang din lumabas sa inyong mga exams. Okay, we also give our patient, okay, fibrinolytic, okay, fibrinolytics, okay, or also known as AKA your TPA, yan. Okay, your TPA, yan. Okay, yung ating pong tissue. So we need to remember that these are your tissue plus minogen minogen activator. Okay? These are your tissue plus minogen activator or your fibrinolytic. So ayan. Okay? So lastly kapatid, I will be going and I will be throwing you some questions here. Yan. I hope Panay Play is still doing well there and still hanging up class on our discussion. I'm quite enjoying here. We're having here a very responsive din na crowd, no? Virtually, no? Napaka-responsive po ng ating crowd. So, I will be throwing you some practice questions. Yan, let's have here some practice questions. Yan. Okay, practice questions po. Yan. Okay, here are some practice questions po natin. Okay, so let's have some practice questions here para din mas may challenge no ang ating pong discussion this evening. I think I will be giving you 1 to 2 questions because we're running out of time. No? So this is just for your ABC. Okay? So which of the following, okay? Which of the following, okay, is or might have been caused, no? Might have been the cause for your patient to have, no? For your patient to have your what we call as your yung myocardial infarction, okay? Myocardial infarction. Yan. Okay. Infarction. Number 1. Okay, letter A, DVT. Okay? Which of the following might have been the cause of your myocardial infarction? Letter A, DVT. Okay? Sulat po natin. Letter A, DVT. Letter B, Prince metal. Yan. Prince metal. Yan. Prince metal. Yan. Prince metal AP. Okay? Letter C naman kapatid is, okay, lack of exercise. Yan, lack of exercise. Or letter D naman kapatid. Okay? Letter D is, okay? Okay, para mas malam na talaga natin. Okay, letter D naman kapatid is, okay, high sodium diet. Yan. Okay. So, now, class, it's your time to shine. Give me the best answer here. Sige. Which of the following might have been the cause for myocardial infarction to your patient? So, give me your answer. Letter A, B, C, or letter D. Okay? Sige. Okay, I'm seeing some answers. I think mostly A ang sagot. Yan. DVT, letter A, Commendador. Yes, A. Parang mostly no, A po ang sinasagot natin dito, no. Yes. Okay. The best answer for this one, class, is of course, the best answer for this one. You know what? Alam ko, you will not answer high sodium diet because this can be a cause not directly of your myocardial infarction, but probably because it can be a cause of your hypertension, and that's correct. Okay? Here also, kapatid, lack of exercise, not necessarily the direct cause of your myocardial infarction. Okay, between letter E and letter B, sinabi ko kanina that your Prince metal AP, okay, your vasoconstriction or your vasospasm could lead to your myocardial infarction. But between letter A, DVT, and letter B, Prince metal, kapatid, okay, between these two, the best answer, kapatid, is alam natin, no, that it's really your deep vein thrombosis. You're now getting it right, kapatid, because I know that most of you got the correct answer. Okay? So, ganun lang. Another hint ko rin sa inyo, as I've also been teaching my students, you follow po the 6 video top score method on my YouTube channel. And there you can see the top score method in passing the PNLE. And you can also use that as well, no, in your examination at your nursing school. And that's very, very good. Okay? So, that's it. So, you need to remember this one. Okay? So, deep vein thrombosis. So, I'll give you another question here, kapatid. Last question for tonight. Yan. So, another thing, kapatid. Okay? So, what are, okay, which of the following, ayan, okay, is, sabihin na lang natin, the following are management, okay, for AP, except, yan. So yun po yung mga tanungan natin, no, sa pagdating po sa ating pong, okay, ano ba yung mga, okay, which the following daw ko, no, are management for AP except, okay, proper exercise. Yan. Okay. Letter B naman, yan, emotional management. Yan. Letter C, okay. Okay. Improper, yan, eating habits. Or letter D, yan. Letter D is fasting. Okay, the best answer for this one, you give your answers here, class. Okay, what do you think is the best answer? The following are management for AP or for your angina pectoris. Except, ayan. Okay? So, except letter. Okay? Yan. Okay? Yan. Yan. I know you're throwing now your answers, guys. But the best answer for this one, it's not fasting. Wala po akong sinabi. Okay? Okay? Proper exercise is correct, kapatid. This is correct. So this is wrong. O ibig sabihin, hindi siya kasi hinahanap po natin is except, di ba? Okay? So emotional management is also correct because emotion is one of the causes, kapatid. Lalo yung extreme emotion. So improper eating habits is also correct. That's why it's wrong here because again, except pong hinahanap natin because too much eating, class, can lead to your AP. So the best answer for this one is fasting. Okay? So, yan. I think time is up. Yan. I hope and I pray, guys, every one of you really enjoyed. So, for more and more sessions like this, maraming salamat po sa NNS. I know, marami pa po tayong dapat na pag-usapan when it comes to your cardiovascular nursing, but I hope and I pray now we can have more time. So maraming salamat po once again for being with me tonight. I hope and I pray, guys, that every one of you is doing well right now. So again, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Okay? Good night, everyone, and God bless to all of us. Yeah. Goodbye po. Thank you so much. So again, I'd like to invite you to follow my YouTube, to follow and to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me to my official Facebook page, Julie Scala. So by the way, sorry guys for those who've been adding me on my separate account, but I cannot add you this time. So let's try to communicate with each other on my YouTube. I mean, in my YouTube channel, you can do that, and also on my Facebook page, official Facebook page. So you can find me there, Julie Scala. So maraming salamat po for being with me tonight.